Hi, this is Stephen Brower from Mountain Valley Community College. This video is for the computer literacy class summer of 2017. Think of this video as being an addendum to the system software chapter 3. Okay, so a couple things. One, let me go into Finder. And one thing for those that are going from PC to Mac, and you're wondering, how do I find the root of the hard drive? One way to get there is if you're in a folder like Documents and you hold the Command key and click up here on Documents, at the highest level, that would be the entire Mac that you're on. So these would be the sort of the disks that are available. And so if I go into the hard drive, then this would be the sort of like the root of the hard drive. If I peek at users, I'll see myself that I'm logged in as, but I also will see that this right here is the generic account that we have. The Mac that I'm on is actually the department's Mac. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of point that out. So for those that are diehard PC users, if you're kind of wondering how to kind of get up to the root, that's one way to do it. The other thing I want to show you is the equivalent of like the command prompt that Windows has. So if I go into Applications and then I go into Utilities, the terminal that's here, now this is going to give us what looks like a command prompt, an old DOS prompt for those that remember working in Windows. And by the way, Unix predated DOS. So when you see some of this stuff and say, oh, it's looking like DOS, and there's no, DOS was created to look like Unix. So Unix came first. So well, one thing, now although the prompt is actually set up to show the directory I'm in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do PWD for print working directory, then explicitly displays where I am. So from the root, I'm in the users folder. Under users, I'm in, well, my folder. If I want to see the contents of the folder that I'm in, if I do ls, it gives it in a sort of a wide format without any details, and actually sometimes you can't tell, well, what's a file and what's a directory. But if I do ls space -l, then this would be the detailed list of what's there, and this the D on the left-hand corner represents that these are directories, and then the axis I have is read, write, execute, and the dashes here would mean that like the rest of the world or the group in the world doesn't have ability or cannot access it, but this public folder can be accessed. So the security, it's actually, there's 9 characters and they're grouped in 3s. Read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. But anyway, it's just, that's another story for another time. I just wanted to show a couple of things here. Now, if you're kind of wondering, well, what other things can we do with ls, what I want to show you is man. So man is for manual, and if you know a command, a Unix command, you can get the description of how it works. So let me go in the manual for ls, and if I hit spacebar, it'll take me to like the next page. But these would be the different options that are available for the ls command. And then the -l that I was using, that's this thing right here, which is a long format, and there are other ones as well. To get out of the manual, if I hit Q, it takes me back to the command prompt where I was. And one of the ironic things is that there actually is a manual on manual, so that you know how manual works. I'm sorry, just the irony of it. Okay, I'm going to do a handful of commands just to point out a couple things, enough to do a little bit of damage. So who would list who is on, and df would be, again, there's options for this, I'm not showing it, but some information about the disk. And what I want to do right now is I'm going to do top, and For the old, I shouldn't say old, for those that are used to using Task Manager in Windows, think of this as being kind of like Task Manager, where we see information about the system in terms of how it's performing, and then a list of processes. Now, there's a way to go in and see more. I'm just taking the default um, um, that is here. But we can see things then in terms of the physical memory, the virtual memory, the processes that are running. So it's a way that we can see sort of how things are Google just jumped to 30% for a second there. We can see how things are running. Okay. So I can do a Q to get out of that as well. It takes me back to the command prompts. So again, this is just meant to be sort of like a brief overview of a couple of things that can take place on a Linux box, which Mac is really Linux. And that's enough for this addendum to Chapter 3.